Greetings everyone, welcome to this lecture of Indian polity. Dear aspirants, in today's session we are going to discuss about an important topic that is related to Indian polity, and there is high chance that this topic may be asked in your upcoming prelims 2026 and even in means. So today's topic is WEEP, or what is WEEP system, right? So let's see what are we going to discuss. So first we will discuss what is a WEEP. See, why are we discussing this topic, right? So you must be knowing that just few days ago a resolution was moved in the Lok Sabha to remove the Lok Sabha speaker, right? And all the political parties had issued whip to their members to vote against Lok Sabha speaker, right? Means all the opposition parties had issued whips to their members to vote against Lok Sabha speaker, and same was done by the ruling party also, right? So simply, if you have to understand what is whip, so just simply know that it maintains or preserves the integrity in political parties, right? Preserves integrity in political parties. So how integrity here means discipline, right? So which kind of discipline? As I said, for example, vote, right? Vote related issue. When party, for example, there are certain parties. Party X is ruling party. Party Y, Z, A, B, C. All these are opposition parties, right? And there is a bill, right? And it has to be passed in the whether Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, upper house or Lok Sabha, upper house or lower house, right? So if the opposition parties, right, non-ruling parties, wants that they will not vote in support of this bill, right, they would issue whip to their members inside their political parties, right, that you all have to vote against this bill, or there is a resolution, right, and they want that this resolution has to be passed or should not be passed, right. That time they can also issue whip, right. So simply it helps to maintain or preserve the integrity of political party, and here integrity means what? Discipline, that all members should align on the same path, on the same line, right. Now origin and use of this word whip. So simply the origin of whip, the term whip, is in England, right, in England. So in England's hunting fields, right, there was a person called Whipper in. Whipper in, right, and this person was supposed to move or check the stray hounds and help them to move towards the or move in the pack, right. He used to move the stray hounds in the pack, simple. And from this word Whipper in comes whip, right. So from Whipper in comes the term whip. So here he used to control or check the stray hounds. In the same manner, in political parties, whip controls their party members, mostly MPs or MLAs, right? Now, who used this word for the first time? So it was, you have to remember the name, Edmund Burke, right? He was a Anglo-Irish politician and philosopher, right? And he used the term whip for the first time. Clear? So it originated in England, right? And actual word is whipper in. From whipper in, the word or the term comes whip. And Edmund Burke, Anglo-Irish politician and philosopher, he used the word whip for the first time. Clear? Now, Now here confusion arises. That sometimes, mostly aspirants think that whether whip is a person or is a process or directive or instruction, right? So is the whip a person, a directive, or both? What should be your answer? It should be both. Means a whip is a first person and directive. Both. Right? Be very clear that whip is a person as well as directive. Directive means instruction. Right? So we will discuss whip in both this context. First, we will discuss it as a person and then as a directive. Right? So when we talk about whip as a person, so as a person, whip is a party official, right? And what is his basic function or duty? To maintain the political or integrity in the political party, to maintain the discipline among its members, right? So the whip as a person, you have to remember, whip as a person is an MP, member of parliament, right? So in both the houses, in the context of India, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has whip, right? And he is generally a member of parliament appointed by their political party. So all major political parties, right, have their own whip, clear? And to act as the party's enforcer, right? Party's enforcer of discipline, right? So as I have told you earlier, that he maintains the discipline, the integrity within the political party. And again I am repeating, each and every political party has its own whip, right? Whip or whips inside the legislature, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Clear? Next, and as I said, every major parties has whips, and every major political parties have first chief whip, and he is generally the senior most leader, right? He could be the senior most leader or any minister, right, who acts as a chief whip, and who is also supported by whips, right? They are known as deputy whips or additional whips. So mostly in the context of India, mostly all major political parties have one chief whip and additional or deputy whips. Clear? Now, so role of whip. So in short, I have told you that whip helps in maintaining the party discipline, right? Integrity in the political party. So what here role of the whip as a person we are discussing, right? Not directive, person. So he ensures maximum party attendance during important votes, right? A bill is going on, a bill has to be passed. So whether they have to vote in favor or against, it is directed by the whip, right? And who is whip? He is the party official who directs the members, right, in the legislature, that do you have to, whether they have to vote in favor or against, right? It instructs MPs on how to vote on key issues. Clear? Next, analyzes between party leadership and MPs. So he acts as a chain, right, between party and the party members, mostly MPs or MLAs, right? Again, if any members rebels, right, or casts vote against party line, right? For example, there is a member person X, right? But as party Y is a political party, and it has instructed all the members to vote in favor of certain bill or against certain bill, but this person went against the party line, so he would be called as rebel, right? So rebel or absentees to party high commands, right? So the whip can means report the rebel MPs or rebel members to the party high commands. And what could be the outcome? The outcome could be that this person, this member could be whether suspended or he can be or expulsion, right? This could be the outcome. Now whip as a directive, right? So as a directive means instruction, or you can say order, right? So here whip as a directive, right? So a whip also refers to a written or oral instruction. So as a person, he or she is a party official, but as a directive, it may be a written or oral instruction. Clear? Issued by the party whip. So whip is both a person as well as a directive or instruction, right? So if it is a directive, then it has three types, right? So there are three types of whips as a directive: one line whip, two line whip, and three line whip. One line whip is very simple, and it is just right applied in advisory form, right? Advisory form means it is optional, right? One line whip is not rigid, right? It is just advisory or optional, means the member can abstain, right? Simply the members are instructed, right, or informed, right, that what is going to take place, whether you can present, right, or vote, or you can abstain, right? Two line whip, it is again another type of instruction, right? So here it is a strong advisory and expected to attend plus vote as directed. Absence or cross voting may invite warning. So here it is little bit stricter as compared, means as line increases, one line very simple, optional, two line little bit stricter, right? So here if any member goes against the party line, vote against the party line, so he can get, or it can invite warning. Now three line whip, it is very strict, very rigid, right? And here it is binding and compulsory, right? So members must attend, must vote exactly as directed by the party official, means the whip, right? And if any member defies, right, or vote against the party line, so it can lead to expulsion, right, of that member. Means that mean, as per anti defection law, that member could be, that member could lost membership, whether he is a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So this is very strict, right? One line, two line, three line, these are three types of whips as a directive or instruction. Clear? Now what does Indian constitution or Indian law say about whip? So here, what is the constitutional or statutory provisions regarding whip in Indian parliamentary system? So here you have to remember that neither constitution nor any statute, right, has provision regarding whip. Again I am repeating, means the whip is, right, whip, right, is neither mentioned in the constitution nor any statute or rule of house. Rule of house means whether Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, right? So it is mentioned neither in the constitution nor in any statute or rule of house or houses, right? It is simply based on, you have to remember, based on parliamentary convention, right? Parliamentary convention. And what are conventions? These are unwritten rules, right? Unwritten rules that has been followed since long time, over the centuries or over last few decades or whatever. So you have to remember that whip in Indian parliamentary system is no mentioned or not mentioned in constitution or any statute or rules of houses, whether Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. It is simply based on parliamentary convention. Clear? If question comes in prelims that whip is mentioned in the parliament, mentioned in the Indian constitution, your answer should be no. It is mentioned in particular statute, again your answer should be no. It is mentioned in the rules of houses, again your answer should be no. It is based on parliamentary convention, your answer should be yes. Right? Now, Indian parliamentary system. So here, see, in Indian parliamentary system, the government means ruling party, right? Generally, what happens that the ruling party runs the government, right? Means the party which has majority in the lower house runs the government, right? So, government's chief whip in the Lok Sabha, right? Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. Remember it, right? That in the lower house, Lok Sabha, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs coordinate with ruling party and alliance leaders, means ruling party and alliance leaders, right? To issue a three-line whip, very strict, and the members cannot defy. They have to vote as per the direction of party lines, right? In the Rajya Sabha, here, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs, he acts as a whip, right? Simple. Now, other major political parties. So, as I said earlier, that every major political parties, right, have one chief whip and other whips known as deputy whip or additional whips, right? So, government chief whip in the Lok Sabha, who is Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, right? In the Rajya Sabha, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs. For other political parties, means non-ruling political parties, one chief whip and other whips known as additional or deputy whips, right? And here these are called, means these are persons, not directives. When they issue certain directives, then it is also called whip. So whip is a person as well as directive or instruction, right? Now again, what can a whip actually do? So we have already discussed the role of whip, no need to repeat again, simply just have a quick look, right? Now, comparison between UK and Indian whip system. So, see, if we compare between India and UK, you will find that in UK whip system is liberal, right, moderate. But in India, whip system is very strict, very rigid. Let's see how. So, in UK, House of Commons, that is known as lower house in the UK, right, British Parliament. So here, whip as a person, right? So we will discuss again, compare again from two perspective, as a person and as a directive. So as a person, whip, again just like India, party official and chief whip plus whips. Clear? In India also same, chief whip plus whips, right? Whip as a directive. So same, one line, two line or three line whips. One line very simple, right, optional. Two line little bit strict, but three line very rigid, right? But in UK it is not strict as comparison to India, right? We will see later. But in India, right, whip as a directive, same classification, one line, two line, three line. Again, define three line whip, it may lead to disqualification from the house. Why? Because we have, means in India we have anti-defection law, 10th schedule, right? And if any member goes against the party line, right, it may lead to his or her disqualification from that house he or she has been elected, right? For example, person X belong to political party A, right? And if this person has defied, right, three line whip, then it may lead to this person's disqualification from that house he or she has been elected. Clear? Now, defying whip, no automatic disqualification, only party expulsion possible. As I said earlier, that in India it is very strict because we have anti-defection law, but in UK there is no anti-defection law, right? Simply it can lead to that person's expulsion from his or her political party, not disqualification of the member, right? So in comparison to India, whip system, right, or defying whip in UK is moderate or liberal, right? Again, speaker, as you do know that in Britain, once a speaker is elected, right, he resigns from his own political party. Why? To maintain political neutrality, right? And that's why while deciding the disqualification of members or expulsion or in whip system, the role of a speaker is very less. Why? Because he has no role in party discipline. He does not belong to any political party after being elected, right? And but in India, a speaker usually retains the party membership, though it is optional that he can resign and it will not lead to his disqualification, right? Remember that in India there is a provision that a speaker can resign from his political party and it will not lead to disqualification of the speaker, right? But generally in India, he means the speaker retains the membership, and here it becomes controversial, right? Why controversial? Sometimes what biasness is seen, right? And the speaker is not fully neutral as comparison to UK. A speaker decides disqualification petitions. Obviously, he is the head or chief of the house, right? And he decides the disqualification of the member, whether the member should be disqualified or not, right? Strength, as I said, in UK it is moderate, means members are allowed to vote freely, right? Especially on moral issues like abortion, death penalty, right? These are called moral issues, and on such moral issues, members are even party members are allowed to vote against the party line, right? But in India, whether it is moral or political or legal or whatever, right? If it is a three-line whip, they have to vote in favor of their or according to their party line, according to the order instruction of the whip, right? That's why in India whip system is very strong, but in UK it is moderate, right? And defines may lead to disqualification of the clear. So in this video lecture we have seen the topic whip system. Thank you for watching.